morning, welcome to day 18 of Vlogmas. So it's Sunday today, it's Sunday morning here, and I'm filming in a very unusually quiet house for the weekend. My husband has taken the children out this morning just for a brief trip to the supermarket to get a few bits we need, and I said I'd stay back and film this little bit of day 18 Vlogmas, just because often at the weekends here it can be very loud in our house. It's not that big. The noise travels very easily, so it can be quite hard to find a quiet moment to film. So I thought it'd be nice to pop on now while it's all peaceful while they're out, and yeah, catch up with you guys. So yeah, it's Sunday about 11 o'clock in the morning, and today the weather is very different from the last few days. I know it's a bit of a cliche that us Brits do like to talk about the weather, but it has been an unusual time here with it being so cold over the last week or so. But today it's back to a sort of classic winter day here that I'm used to. It is a bit rainy, a bit overcast, the sky's a bit grey, but it is nice, it's a bit warmer, but I am missing that sort of crisp, beautiful winter sunshine we've been having over the last few days. But it is nice that it's warmed up a bit. Actually, we were going to go to church this morning, but when my son woke up, he had a real sort of blocked nose and he didn't seem quite himself. We didn't want to take him out in the cold for the sort of scoot up to church, so we thought we'd keep him at home a little bit longer, and he's perked up a lot now, which is nice. So I'm kind of glad we made that decision, although it was a shame to miss out on church. But instead, we've been doing a little bit more building of the Lego gingerbread house, which is a lot of fun. I will show you our progress in a moment. But I'll start off this video as ever with what Elf was up to in the night. So Elf decided to venture upstairs last night for the first time this Advent. I think the children generally are staying up a bit later these days and sometimes find it harder to get to sleep than they used to when they were very little. So I think Elf often tries to stay downstairs in case he disturbs them upstairs. But last night, because they were up a little bit late watching the Strictly Come Dancing final, I think he must have thought that they'd be sort of falling asleep as soon as their heads would hit their pillows, and they have a really good deep sleep, so he decided to venture upstairs into the bathroom. And I'll pop a picture so you can see what he did. He decided to set up a little swimming scene in there. So he borrowed my daughter's armbands and my son's goggles. He obviously got some friends to join him in the pool, some cute little fish, and they looked like they were having a whale of a time in the bath together. So my children were quite tickled to find him upstairs for the first time. So yeah, that's what Elf was up to, and they didn't seem to mind too much that he'd borrowed their swimming equipment or that he must have been sneaking into their rooms to get it, but that was okay. So that's what he was up to this morning. And then in terms of what I'm wearing, well, I've taken advantage of the slightly warmer weather to choose a slightly less cosy outfit. I've got on today a handmade blouse and a handmade skirt. The blouse is one I made using this pattern here, which is the blouse pattern by the Avid seamstress, which is a really nice blouse pattern. It's the first blouse pattern I ever sewed, actually. I've got a few versions and I always enjoy getting them out. I really like the style of them. So I get the pattern out because the line drawings are absolutely tiny on the back and they're really hard to see. So I'll pull out the pattern, which hopefully has some better line drawings in it. So this is the blouse by the Avid seamstress. It's quite a straight fit blouse. It hasn't got any darts on it, and it's got a band collar, a button down front, and these sleeves that come to just below your elbow, and they're finished with a little elasticated cuff. So when I made this blouse, I thought it was quite a nice first blouse pattern to try because it hasn't got the full collar or the cuffs and the sleeves, so it's a bit of like a sort of pared down blouse, I guess, so a little bit more simple. And I find the Avid seamstress instruction booklets are really good. There's loads of information in there. There's loads of colour photographs all the way through, so they really feel like they hold your hand through the whole process of sewing a blouse. The only downside of their patterns, I think, is they haven't got the biggest size range. This blouse pattern goes in a UK 6 up to a UK 22. The largest size is robust of 48 inches. And when I've made my versions, I've gone for the UK 6, which is designed for a bust of 32.5 inches, waist of 25 inches and hips of 34.5 inches. So I went based on my bust measurement, and because it was quite a straight fit, I thought the waist measurement wouldn't be too critical. And then I always end up tucking in my blouses, so I don't really have them sort of skirting down to my hips anyway. So for me, the hip measurement wasn't too critical anyway, but there is room for my hips, even with the size being slightly smaller than my hips. But it's a really nice pattern. It comes together really nicely. I quite like the fact that it's a bit more casual than a full blouse. I quite like the little elasticated cuffs. I think I prefer wearing them, and I do like a band collar more than a full collar because I find a full collar can get a bit hot around your neck sometimes. And the version I'm wearing today is in this really, really pretty Liberty Tana lawn fabric. I really love this fabric. I think it originally came from Guthrie Garney quite a long time ago, and I bought it for another project. I was going to plan to put it together with another fabric and make a dress. But when it arrived, I loved it so much, I thought it should be a sort of standout piece on its own rather than mixed with other fabrics. So I made it into this blouse, and I really love wearing this one. And I love Liberty Tana Lawn. I've never been a big fan of kind of stiff cotton blouses. I used to wear them for work every now and then. I didn't find them very comfortable, but I find the Liberty Tana Lawn is so soft and delicate. It doesn't really feel like you're wearing like a stiff cotton at all. It's really comfy to wear. But it's really nice to sew with too, because it's got all the benefits of cotton, like it's really stable. So yeah, it's a really lovely one to sew and wear. And yeah, it's got really pretty print on this one. It's got sort of berries, and I feel like because the berries have a sort of little red print to them, it makes me feel like this is quite a Christmassy, wintry print. I'll stand up a bit so you can see a bit more close up. So I'm not sure if this fabric is available anywhere, this particular Liberty print, but if I can find it anywhere, I'll link it down below. I really love this print. I think it might have come in a couple of different colour ways. They often do with Liberty prints, I find. But yeah, I really enjoy wearing this blouse, and I find it a really nice, comfy, relaxed blouse to wear. And then I paired it with one of my favourite skirts. I'll stand up a bit so you can see it. It is my Megan Nielsen denim Brumby skirt. So I made it using this Brumby skirt pattern here, which is a really fab pattern. It's one of my favourite skirt patterns. This one has a really good size range because Megan Nielsen produced all their patterns in I think it's a 0 to 20 range, and then also a curve range, which goes from a 14 to a 32, and those are US sizes. And I can't remember, I think I went for my actual measurements, based on my actual measurements when I made this, because the skirt is, I'll show you this line drawings, it's designed to sort of really fit and hug your natural waist. And so when you look at the measurements, because it's a woven skirt pattern as well, I think I went for the size 4, which is designed for a waist of 26 inches. And when you look at the finished garment measurements for a size 4, the waist is 26 inches there too. So I went based on my waist measurement. It does hug my waist really nicely. It's got sort of a contoured waistband, so it's really nice because it kind of sits a bit more snugly at the top and then sort of comes out slightly. So it's a really comfy waistband to wear. And I've made here version 1. So it's a gathered denim skirt with these big pockets. It's got a sort of feature seam down the front, so you can really make it like you would a pair of jeans with a sort of jeans sort of top stitching on it. And it's got an exposed zip at the back, which is a really fun feature. And I really love Megan Nielsen pattern instructions. I always find they're really nice to follow. So putting in the exposed zipper wasn't too daunting. I'll turn around so you can see it. I think it's a really nice feature on this skirt. It's a bit different. So as you can see, I've gone for like a chunky metal zipper, so I've really enjoyed making this into a sort of proper jeans style skirt. And the pockets are huge. I'll stand up as well so you can see those, because they're really cool. So they're really enormous, which is really handy. And I love how it's got a big hem turn up at the bottom. My version is really similar to the version on the pattern here, so I'll just show you this version. It's got a really big hem turn up with, again, more features top stitching, which I really enjoyed sewing. And it's just a really nice, comfy skirt to wear, and I find it goes with so many things. And I made mine this quite heavy weight denim. I got it from a fabric shop online that's closed down since. There's a special name to this denim, I can't remember what it was called. I kind of bought it not really knowing what to expect, but it is quite a nice chunky one, so it works really well to give a nice shape to this sort of skirt, a kind of bell shape, I guess. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. But I wear this skirt loads. I'm sure if you've watched my channel for a while, you've seen it before. It's just one I really enjoy wearing and I find works through the whole year. You can make a sort of more swishy version of the Brumby skirt too. Version 2, you can make a little longer sort of drapey, swishy skirt, or this version 3 is just like a classic gathered skirt without any pockets. Maybe inseam pockets possibly. So there are loads of different options in this Brumby pattern, so I'd really recommend this pattern. I think it's one that's really versatile. You can make like a viscose swishy skirt for summer, or really chunky denim skirt for winter. I just really like this pattern. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today, and it's nice to have a bit of a change from big jumpers and jeans. So yeah, I'm enjoying wearing what I'm wearing today. So that's what I'm wearing today, and then the next thing I wanted to share is something that I was going to talk about yesterday and then I forgot to mention it, so I wanted to include it in today's video because I thought it was really sweet. And it's something we found at a local country park on our trip to the country park yesterday. So if you saw my yesterday's video, which was day 17, so Saturday, yesterday morning my family and I went to a local country park to take part in a Santa run, which is a lot of fun. It was basically loads of adults and children dressing up in Santa costumes. I included some footage of the race in my video yesterday, as well as the country park, which is really, really beautiful and looks so lovely in the icy, frosty weather. But my family and I got there a little bit early yesterday, and we went for a little walk down to the lake. because we bought some duck food. We wanted to see if there were any ducks there to feed, because we thought with the weather being cold they might appreciate it. But actually the lake was a bit frozen over, so there are no ducks or any birds there, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully they found somewhere sort of cosy to be. But on our walk down to the lake, we happened across a tree, and this little bauble was hanging on the tree. It's so pretty. It's been painted. So it's a painted bauble. It's just made out of some sort of lightweight sort of plywood type thing, I guess, with a little ribbon on the top. But isn't that the most beautiful little scene that's been painted on, with a star there and little town below, little lights? I just thought it was so pretty. And it says in the back, "Merry Christmas, please take me home." So my daughter spotted it and we thought that was so lovely. So we got it back home now. I was going to show you guys, and then we were going to put it on the tree. So wasn't that a lovely, thoughtful thing? We often find rocks, painted rocks around and about, but I haven't seen a sort of Christmas decoration before. So we were really grateful to find that. It was nice to have got there early and been able to find that, because I thought that's really pretty. So I wanted to share that. And then the other thing I wanted to share while I was on, which I know I said I was going to share earlier in Vlogmas, is a bit of my Christmas knitted nativity set. Because I love my little Christmas knitted nativity set, which I knitted a couple of years ago. And if you haven't seen some of my Christmas videos before, I thought you might not have seen it, or you might like to see it again maybe. So I thought I'd share some of that. So I'll share first of all the patterns I used to knit my Christmas nativity set. My husband and I didn't have a nativity set before then. We've got a tiny little sort of scene with just Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus, but not like a full set. So it's always something I like the idea of, and I'd admired other knitted nativity sets. Our school has one they often display in reception. It's quite a large one, and I'd always admired that and thought it was so lovely. So when I got into knitting, and once I got a bit more confidence with knitting, I thought I'd give it a go myself, and I kind of knitted it over the year, sort of through the year, so it was ready for Christmas that particular year a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed it, just taking time over the little details and selecting the wool. It was a real labour of love, and I hope we'll be able to enjoy it for lots of years to come. And my children seem to really enjoy getting it out and arranging it, so that always gives me joy to see them enjoying it too. But yeah, I used 2 different patterns for my nativity. I kind of had a research online, and I found 2 and I liked different bits from different ones, so I thought if I got them both, neither of them was that expensive, and I could just pick and choose the bits from each one that I liked. So the first one is the nativity on this Christmas magazine here, which is one I've talked about earlier in Vlogmas. So it's the King Cole Christmas Knits Book 3. It's got loads and loads of lovely patterns that I've used, but the reason I bought it was originally for the nativity. So it's got lots of nativity characters here, as you can see. So that is the first pattern I used. And the second one is this one here. This is called the Knittables Nativity. If I can find this one online, I will too. I definitely know this one's available, so I can link that down below. I'm not sure if this one is. I'll link it if I can. It's another really cute nativity, and when I looked at the dimensions, it looked like the characters would be similar size from both these nativities, so I'd be able to pick and choose which bits I liked from each. So you can see with this one you get a camel, which I thought would be quite fun, and a star too. So a couple of things I wanted to borrow from this pattern as well as using this pattern. And actually both patterns, the instructions are really good. They sewed up really well, so I would really recommend both patterns. I find them both really good. So I thought I'd share a few of the figures from my nativity in case you'd like to see them. So first of all, I've got Mary here. So here is Mary, and I think she looks really cute. She's got a little blue cape, a little sort of white headdress thingy. Yeah, and she's looking kind of quite peaceful, I think, here. She's got a little tie around her waist. So that is little Mary, and then she goes with Joseph. Here is Joseph. He's got a little beard, a little waistcoat on. Yeah, they're Mary and Joseph. So 2 of the important characters, obviously. And then I've got the angel here. I think I made the angel from this pattern here. So here she is. She's got quite a cute little sort of sparkly headband. I just got her wings. And all of these figures actually, I wanted to make sure they'd stand up nice so they wouldn't sort of wobble over. So what I did was I added some cardboard, a round of cardboard into the bottom of them, and also a couple of little metal washers that are about the size of this. You can just get them quite cheaply off Amazon, so I got a bit of a job lot, and I popped a couple in each of them so they sort of weighed down a little bit so they stand up nicely. So there is my angel. I've also got a shepherd here. Here's a little shepherd. I chose this sort of textured wool for him, which I thought was quite cute. He's got a little grey beard. The beards were quite fun to knit too. And a little headdress again. And he's got some sheep. The sheep are one of my favourite things to knit. They came, I think, again from this pattern here. And used kind of this fluffy wool for their bodies. It was really fun to knit with it. You couldn't really see the stitches much at first, but I kind of got into it. And yeah, they're just so cute, I think. So I've knitted a few sheep because my children quite like playing with them. They often stack them up, so they're kind of almost acrobatic. But here's one little sheep here. You can see its little furry body, which I think is so cute. Here's another one, and there's one other one somewhere, but yeah, they're really sweet. And the legs do sort of come out a little bit, so they end up sort of looking a bit ungainly like that, but yeah, they're just so cute. I think those little knitted sheep. I also did the donkey. I can't remember which set that came from. A little donkey here, which is so cute, with little black feet and a little tail there. I think he's really sweet. And then who else I got? Oh, here is one of my kings. I really enjoyed choosing the yarn for the kings, and you might have seen this yarn earlier in Vlogmas because I used the offcuts or the leftover yarn to make my knitted fairy lights, because I really love this yarn. It's all sparkly. You can see it looks lovely on his coat there. He's carrying a little gift there. Well, he's got a little crown on, which I think is quite cute. So there's one of the kings or the wise men. And I also made the camel because I just couldn't resist. I thought it was really fun. So there's a little camel that comes along with the 3 kings or the 3 wise men. And I've got a little star too. And we usually put that star up high. I think that came from this set here, the Knittables set. There's a little star there. Enjoyed knitting that. I thought it was a nice little addition. And then here is baby Jesus's manger. So I made this using, I think, the pattern from this magazine, because this one here, it doesn't give you a pattern for it. It's just got a little wooden manger here, but I wanted to make something knitted to go with the set. So I made this one here, but it recommends you just make the outsides and then just fill it with sort of offcuts of wool. But I kind of wanted to make mine a little bit more sturdy than that, so what I did is I knitted in sort of a moss stitch, this little topper, and sewed it on and added in some stuffing inside. So that is the manger waiting for baby Jesus. So yeah, that's a bit of my knitted nativity set. I really enjoyed knitting it. I'm kind of disappointed I finished it really, because I'd love to knit it again, but it was a very long-term project, so it's nice to be able to focus on other knitted things right now, I guess. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing a little bit of that. So that is my knitted nativity set, and I always really enjoy getting it out at Christmas. And then in terms of our plans the rest of the day, well, we're heading around a friend's house this afternoon. They're having a bit of a Christmas get-together for a few families, and we've all known each other since our firstborns were babies, so it's always really nice to catch up because we don't get to see each other so much these days. I think they're putting on some pizzas, we're all bringing some party food. The kids generally have a ball racing around the house, and the adults all enjoy catching up too. So it should be a really lovely afternoon. We were hoping to walk because they don't live too far from us, but actually it's getting really rainy outside now. I can see the rain is coming down quite hard, so we might end up driving round, which would be a bit of a shame. I've been really enjoying getting out about in the fresh air recently while the weather's been so nice. But it should be a really lovely afternoon. And then we've got a bit of a quick turnaround when we get home. I want to get the kids to bed not too late after their late night last night because they've got school tomorrow. And my husband's heading off to the pub, so I think what I'm going to do is finish off this video here because I'm not sure how much time I'll have a little bit later. I am hoping to get some sewing done this evening, potentially, when my husband goes out. So if I do, I'll probably pop one and include that in my tomorrow's video. So my day 19 of Vlogmas video might start this evening, potentially. But I'll finish this one up here. So thank you very much for joining me for another day of Vlogmas. I'm really enjoying filming these episodes. I'm having a lot of fun doing them, so I'm really glad to know that you're enjoying watching them too. I really appreciate you following along with my Vlogmas journey. So yeah, I will see you again for day 19 tomorrow, or possibly later this evening on day 18 if I start then. So in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you again for watching, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.